All right, it's December 2025, and in a couple of days, I'm gonna be donating a kidney. So I thought I would make one of these videos to just kind of explain how that came to be, why I'm doing it, and what to expect, all that kind of stuff. I guess I'll start with what to expect. My donation is on Tuesday, probably pretty early in the morning. I'm still waiting to find out exactly what time. And so of course I'll go under for the operation, and they'll take my left kidney. They're gonna do an incision kind of similar to a C-section. So actually they say the scar looks a lot like a C-section scar. I always thought they went in through the back, but no, they'll go in through the front and take it out that way. So I'll recover in the hospital for a couple of days, then they'll send me home, but I won't be able to drive. I'll probably be able to like walk around the house just fine, you know, be in some pain, but as long as I'm on the pain medications, I'm not allowed to drive. And I'm told that most people, it's a week or two of being on pain medication. After that, I'll be able to like, you know, go back to work and things like that. But they say you really need to take it easy for up to 12 weeks afterward, because one of the more common side effects is people getting hernias during recovery, because sometimes the skin is healed up, but the insides haven't yet. Somebody will do something strenuous and pop a hernia. So I do not want that to happen. So yeah, I'll be kind of just taking it easy this winter for the most part, until pretty much the end of February. So yeah, what led to this decision? I'm gonna go all the way back to like, I think the first time I ever even heard of kidney donation being a thing was in the 90s because of a Simpsons episode.
Come on, Doc. There's got to be something I can do to help my dad.
Well, you could give him a kidney.
A kidney? Okay, fine.
Where Homer Simpson donates a kidney to Grandpa Simpson, somewhat reluctantly at the end there.
I'll get my kidney back, old man. You have to sleep sometime.
Marge even says something like,
"You've shortened your life significantly, so someone else can have a slight extension of theirs."
which is good comedy, but turns out that's not really true. Like in almost every case, the kidney donor will live a long, fruitful life and die of something else other than kidney failure. If I do have a kidney failure in the future, I actually get to be at the top of the recipient list. So that's just a nice little benefit, a nice security for those willing to donate. But anyway, in the 2000s, there was that Charlie the Unicorn comic on YouTube.
No, Charlie, you have to come with us to Candy Mountain.
And of course, they kind of dupe him into going into a dark cave. He wakes up, his kidney's gone.
What happened? Oh, they took my freaking kidney.
But of course, none of those like really made me want to donate a kidney. It's just put it on my radar as something that was possible. I would say the first time that I ever thought like it was something I would do is after reading a book by Peter Singer called The Most Good You Can Do. That book was recommended to me by a friend back in maybe like 2017 or something like that. And I was happy to read it because I'd already read one of Peter Singer's other books and really liked it. He has a TED Talk as well. It's a lot about altruism and stuff like that. And so this guy, he's an academic who has studied, basically what's the most good you can do. So most of the book is about like how far can a dollar go in the philanthropy world, you know, getting the most bang for your buck, quite literally. But he does have a whole chapter on there about donating kidneys. And that chapter resonated with me because I'm one of those that doesn't usually have a whole lot of money to make a difference, but what I have, I give, right? So once I read that, I kind of thought, that would be cool to like someday donate a kidney. I think I even joked with the girl who recommended the book to me, like, so when are you gonna donate your kidney? But still, I wouldn't say it was like a conviction or anything, just kind of like maybe a vague ambition to someday do. But just a couple months after I read that book, I happened to be walking into church one day and see a flyer on like one of the outdoor closet storage doors. And I think I'd even walked past that flyer a few times and never stopped to look at it. But for whatever reason this day, I just like stopped and looked at it, and it was a flyer from a local family asking for a kidney donation. And like, it kind of hit me pretty hard, like, whoa, like I actually have never known anybody who's donated a kidney, nor anyone who's received one, but apparently like people in my own community actually need it. And so I kind of considered, calling those people up and offering to donate my kidney, but I think I just didn't really know enough about it yet, and it was like a time in my life it probably wouldn't have been very easy to do, because the downtime and the recovery would have been, I don't know, pretty inconvenient for my life at that time. So I will say though that just put the conviction in my mind a lot more than even just reading the book, like realizing that people in my own community actually do need kidneys. So a few years later, maybe in like 2022-ish, I was listening through a podcast called Freakonomics Podcast, and they actually had an episode about donating kidneys. And one of the things they highlighted was how being a non-directed donor, meaning you don't have anybody in mind for your kidney, you're just willing to give it to whoever needs it, can be a really beneficial thing for a lot of people. Because what happens a lot of times is you have people willing to donate a kidney to, say, like their significant other or a family member, but they're not a match for whatever reason. And so what they'll sometimes do is be able to find another person who needs a kidney and another person who's willing to donate to them who's also not a match, and then maybe they'll be able to match up with each other, right? Like donate kidneys to each other's significant others. Trading kidneys, there should be a reality show about that. Anyway, being a non-directed donor can kind of be a huge benefit to a whole chain of people waiting to receive kidneys for this reason. So I just found out the other day that's actually what's going to happen with my kidney. It'll go to somebody who's local, whose significant other is willing to give a kidney, but is not a match for them. And so my kidney will go to this person, their significant other's kidney will go to somebody else down the chain. And I don't know how much further that chain goes, but the point is more than one person is going to get a kidney, which feels pretty good. So yeah, at that time in like 2022, when I heard that podcast episode, that's when I kind of started like looking more into it, like, oh yeah, this is something I thought I could do, and maybe now's a good time. But again, with the recovery and the downtime, just wasn't really that great. I considered doing it in like summer of 2024, but then I went down to Texas to do that summer sales thing. So then I was going to consider doing it this past summer, 2025, and started putting the wheels in motion in like June or July. But by the time I got all the like medical stuff done and the checks done, it was like mid-July, and my timeline was a little too tight because I wanted to be fully recovered before the new school year started. I work at a school, so I didn't want to like miss the first week of school or whatever. So we just kind of rescheduled for Christmas break. So actually what's going to happen is on Tuesday I'll donate, and then I'll have pretty much 4 weeks to recover before going back to school at the beginning of January. So timing's pretty good. I will be missing the end of the this school session here, the end of the term, but that's all right. It's better to miss that than like the first week of a new school year, right? So yeah, to kind of address the questions of like, why do it? I feel like some people ask why in like an accusing way, like, why would anyone ever do that? Like they just assume it's a dumb idea. Others ask why, like they really kind of want to know, like, why do it? I think sometimes people suspect it's to like atone for something, which I don't really feel like it is. If it is, it's subconscious. Kind of along with that, there is, something known as moral licensing, where if you're like doing something good in one area of your life, you kind of justify a lot of garbage in other areas of your life. And I kind of understand that, and maybe can see myself falling victim to it a little bit, because I kind of caught myself doing it the other day, actually. This camera was in my Amazon shopping cart for like a couple of weeks, and ultimately I decided like, I shouldn't get it. I can't be throwing money around. You know, teachers don't make a ton of money. And after it sat in my shopping cart for a couple of weeks, I was like, you know what? I'm donating a kidney. I deserve to splurge a little bit. And so I bought the camera. And yeah, I guess I realized that's kind of moral licensing right there. So I guess I got to watch out for that. But beyond that, I think there's a few good reasons to donate. One just comes down to math. Like that podcast episode, they like featured a guy named Zel Krasinski who donated a kidney and kind of more or less accused everyone who doubted him of not understanding math. And looking into the numbers a little bit, I think he's right. Like the 5-year survival rate for somebody who needs a kidney and is currently on dialysis is less than 40%. The 5-year survival rate for somebody who receives a kidney is over 80%. So already like doubling the chance of survival over the next 5 years for somebody who gets my kidney, right? And then the risk to me is pretty negligible. Like sure, there'll be painful and inconvenient and there's a recovery time, but the 5-year survival rate of a donor is like 95%, which is pretty much just on par with the regular population. Like 5% of people die anyway. So, or, you know, there's obviously other factors that factor into these things. You know, only healthy people are allowed to donate kidneys and stuff like that. But ultimately, I think Zel Krasinski was right, like the math checks out. And there's still a couple of other reasons why I think I'm donating my kidney. One just kind of comes down to like being a bachelor and trying to make my existence matter a little bit. I know that's kind of like, I don't know, sad to say or something, but I feel like over the decades of being a bachelor, that is something I've deliberately tried to do. Like in one of the ways I've tried to do that is to be a big brother in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. So for the majority of the past couple decades, I have been a big brother. But as of a couple years ago, my latest little brother aged out of the program. He turned 18. And so since then, I haven't had a little brother. And so, you know, I've been looking for ways to like kind of feel like I'm being a benefit to society rather than a menace, if you will. So yeah, I feel like this donating a kidney kind of qualifies for that. Lastly, there's maybe like one other kind of a good reason to donate. Just feels like kind of a unity with mankind, just like a we are all one sentiment. And if part of us needs a kidney and part of us has one to give, then I'm willing to give it. Related to that sentiment is, it reminds me of the poem by John Donne, which if I paraphrase for my purposes here, might go something like, any man's kidney failure diminishes me because I am involved in mankind. Therefore, never send to know for whom the kidney is donated. It is donated for thee. And that's kind of true. And to be honest, it's not important to me who my kidney goes to. It's more important to me that, like, I'm a part of mankind. I'm involved in mankind, and part of me needs this kidney, and so I'm willing to give it. And some donors do like to know who their kidney goes to, because honestly, some recipients haven't taken really great care of their first set of kidneys. And so it might be unattractive to some donors to like find out their kidney went to somebody who's just gonna, destroy it again due to alcohol or other substance use. But to me, it truly doesn't matter. I don't really care to know who it goes to. And even if I found out it went to somebody like that, that's okay with me. Like, you don't have to go far to find somebody who was given a second chance and really blew it. But you also don't have to go very far to find somebody who was given a second chance and it changed their life for the better. So yeah, I guess I'm willing to take my chances with that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I might do a follow-up video after I donate the kidney just to make sure everything's okay. Talk about how worth it was when all is said and done.
Who is that? Oh, what happened? Oh, they took my freaking kidney.